Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And as we find we're coming to the close of the year, can you believe that? My goodness, the time has just flown so quickly. We're in the final week here of 2021, looking ahead at 2022 and beyond. And this is a great time to check in and just see, are we feeling the magic of the season? Are we remembering to stop and pause and be present, to truly connect in, to be how we want to be, to bring forward what we're calling and being called to bring forward? As we look ahead at 2022, is it with excitement? Are we looking at the magic we're going to be bringing forward? Are we building towards that with excitement and anticipation? Or are we feeling a little bit swept away in the busyness of the season, in the to-do list and all of the things that we're trying to do and get done? Just kind of check in and see where you are in that. Because here's the opportunity for you. Today, we have two amazing guests. They're committed to helping you be mindful, be purposeful, not just during the holidays, but throughout your life. They are committed to helping you find that magic, to really being present in the holidays. And so to this season, it's a very special season when we have the end of the year coming. We're looking ahead at the new year. It's an opportunity for reflection, for checking in, for choosing the habits, the patterns, the way of being that we're bringing forward or we're going to start to weave into our life. And I want you to get the amazing support that's available for you today. So here's how to do that. Choose to be fully present. You get to take off the to-do list, the expertise hat. This is an opportunity for you over the course of our conversation over the next hour to be poured into, to receive, to be filled, to overflowing in a beautiful, wonderful way. So choose to be fully present, to receive everything that's here for you today. And in fact, let's take a moment to close our eyes. Take a breath. In through the nose, all the way to your toes, and then out through your mouth, like through a straw. Beautiful. Take another beautiful breath. Feel that oxygen going through every cell of your body, bringing support and refreshment and energy. And as you exhale, release all that has served and is no longer needed, releasing all the tension, everything that you don't need for the next little bit during our time together today. So you're creating room and space for you to be open to receive. Beautiful. And in this stillness, let's put both hands on our heart. Close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Take another beautiful breath as we become present. It's enough to be and to receive. And as we sink into that, what is it you need today? What do you need to support you, to empower you, encourage you on your journey? What's kind of bubbling up as we become still and listen? Sometimes it's a reminder. Sometimes it's a feeling, an emotion, an image. What is it you need today that you are willing to receive because you absolutely have choice? Beautiful. Take another beautiful breath. Come back into the room, eyes open, fully present. And let's take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive. Just take a moment and write that down. This helps it stop swirling around inside of you, becomes real, something you can interact with. You're bringing it into reality, and it helps you keep it top of mind. So it's so easy to get distracted or move on to the next shiny thing or get disrupted and pulled away instead of choosing to be present. Let that writing down support you. Create space for you. Beautiful. We're going to go around our virtual room, and as we do so, I invite you to open your ears to hear, and let's connect in that heart space to really hear and support and send that connection and love to each other. Beautiful. And with that, Janet, I would love to start with you. What was laid on your heart when you took a moment to just stop, pause, and listen?
Well, this Christmas has really been different for me, Christmas season, I should say. My mom passed in February, and it made me realize how precious life is and what a gift it is to us. And there had been some Christmases that I had not got to see my only grandchild. And it's kind of funny, this Christmas season, I wasn't thinking about it directly. And I got to spend 2 whole days with him. And I was just, I can't tell you what that was to me. It meant a lot to me. And so I guess when you started talking, I thought, I know what I've been missing for several years. I've been missing intensity of feeling. You know, feeling Christmas, the love, the beauty, all the things that's wrapped up into Christmas for each person. And so I would encourage everyone to open up their heart and feel Christmas and what it means to them.
Beautiful. I love that, to really feel and be present. Open your heart and see, discover, lean in to what you're feeling and experiencing. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And Deborah, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
Well, I'm very grateful for this holiday season because I have my 3 sons and they're plus ones. So I have my new family with me this year, and I am committed to making every day be a day that I'm present, and committed to making each day the best day of my life. And I'm asking that 2022 be the best year of my entire life, because my life is getting better and better every year.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that, and I lift that intention, both of your beautiful and intentions up and reminders, and I love that we can choose and be committed to this being our best day and tomorrow being an even better day. And then this year, this coming year, our best day, like we can choose to have each day become deeper and more meaningful and more powerful for us as we move forward in the season and in the year. I appreciate that. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Listener, absolutely. And listeners, how about you when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen? What bubbled up in you as you're taking a moment to reflect on the day and the week and the season, and you're looking ahead at 2022? And are you choosing, what are you choosing to be and to do? And what are you being reminded of? So enjoy this commercial break, stay present, and really see what's speaking to your heart and spirit. And when we come back, we will continue our conversation with our amazing experts. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have been enjoying this time to pause and listen it's always interesting to me when I really focus in and I become still, what bubbles up. Sometimes I'm just moving so fast, I can miss those reminders, that insight, that perspective. And when I slow down, there's great wisdom and encouragement and insight that's available to me, but I just don't always hear it in the busyness. And so I hope that as you slowed down, you had the opportunity to really sink in and hear and feel and receive all that is here for you today. We are continuing our conversation with our amazing experts as we explore being mindful during the holiday season and really bringing that magic forward in our businesses and in our lives and in our interactions, and even including how we're interacting with ourselves. And really a consistent theme I'm feeling and hearing today is this being present, and what a privilege and an honor it is to be present with each of you today. I feel that connection, and I'm honored to share this space and this time with all of you. And in that, I'm very excited to introduce our first amazing guest. You got to hear from her on a heart level in our opening segment. Her name is Deborah Weiner. She has been an international, successful, multi-million-dollar business owner for over 35 years. She actually started her business with her husband in her garage with a used truck and a $5,000 loan, and was able to grow it to a multi-million-dollar successful business. And she's created a system from all of her experience and studying of different ways and systems to support businesses called energetic Feng Shui, which she's going to be sharing with us. And this is how helps her not only in how she leads and manages her company, but she also helps other companies use this information to increase their creativity, the motivation of their employees, productivity, and results. She believes where energy flows, money goes. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing and dynamic Deborah Weiner to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You are welcome. I'm excited to have you joining us today, and I appreciate you pushing through here a little bit with your voice. So know that we are sending you supportive, soothing energy, and are very excited for what you'll be sharing with us today. And just wanted to lean in and ask, why this work of helping people understand energetic Feng Shui in their business, in their life. Why is that work personally so important to you?
Well, in 2007 to 2009, our business nearly went bankrupt as the global economy headed into the Great Recession, and we had to let go of most of our employees. Devastating. My husband, he considers them as family.
Yeah.
Desperate, I assessed the physical environment of our business and the few remaining employees, including myself. And I looked deeper inside myself, and I thought that my emotions were getting in the way of my business communications and decisions. I was triggered by decisions made about employee compensation. Employees received bonuses even when they weren't performing well. I was conditioned to be a people pleaser, so I would just smooth things over and remain silent. Have you ever remained silent when you knew you should speak up? Or do you face problems with your eyes shut or wide open? And do you feel it's too hard to face the truth? So I understood that my silence was killing my business, and my emotions were not getting in the way. Instead, they were my greatest business asset. And these gut feelings, which is our second brain, which are the foundation I learned of our decision-making processes and deepest wisdom and the most fundamental truth. And so I learned that when you make the best decisions when you give voice to your emotions and include them in your decision-making processes. And I vowed to be silent no more. So we restructured the blueprint of our business, made changes, including the basing our employee compensation on performance, resulting in a 180 turnaround. And while many businesses failed during this Great Recession and during even COVID-19, our company flourished.
So powerful. And I love that you not only have discovered this, and you're willing to kind of face yourself in that and yourself as a business owner and leader too, and find the strength, find the opportunity, and listen to that and bring it forward. You're now leaning in to help others do the same. And I think that's so powerful. And during that time, you're able to grow your business so dramatically. And even during what we have all faced with COVID, that you have also been able to continue to apply these same principles, ways of looking at business and systems to continue to grow and to continue to serve so many. So I celebrate that. I thank you for leaning in and being willing to help in that way. And before we go too far in the conversation, we've got a couple things here. We have a caller on hold. I'm going to bring them on in a moment. But before we do, I wanted to set the stage of what is energetic Feng Shui, because I know that's what you specialize in, and that's part of what helped you shift things so dramatically. So do you mind describing what that is?
Okay. Well, what I created is what I believe one of the most powerful, effective, and evolved systems of Feng Shui available today. Energetic Feng Shui combines the principles of traditional Feng Shui, human design, business decision-making tools, and other success systems. And this unique system designs and restructures businesses, giving them a new blueprint, which enables them to be more successful. And no one else practices this version, as it is my own creation. And Feng Shui affects the subtle charge of electromagnetic energies and frequencies that you cannot see, that are flowing within and around you. And energy may not be seen, but it can be felt. So Feng Shui is an art that creates energy flow and a positive feeling. So it's all about how you feel in a space. And it's kind of like explained in a way. I say a few examples. Have you ever walked into a space and said, "Oh, I don't like it here," and you want to run right out the door? Versus, have you ever walked into a space and said, "This feels so good. I could stay here forever." So it's like if energy doesn't flow like water in a pond, it becomes stagnant. And if the energy in your business is stagnant, sales become stagnant. So why did our business revenues rise 88%? Because of the primary principle of energetic Feng Shui. Where energy flows, money goes.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, and that you have woven together those powerful principles and created a way that people can apply them so successfully to their business. And I think that's such a great example of, this feels so great. Wouldn't that be amazing if we felt that way about our own environment that we worked in, that we lived in, that we operate in, and those within our company felt that way too, and those visiting. Like, that just creates an amazing experience for all, that definitely I can see how that would serve a company and those being served by that company. Beautiful. And I'm going to take a pause here, as I would love to bring our caller online. They have a question for you. Is that okay, Deborah?
Yes.
Take that sidestep here. So I'd love to welcome our caller, Cynthia, to the show. Welcome, Cynthia.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Deborah.
Hello. Excited to welcome. Do you mind sharing where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Dublin, California, but I live in San Francisco, California. I'm visiting for the holidays.
Okay, nice. And I know that you had a question for Deborah, so I wanted to give you an opportunity to ask.
Thank you. Appreciate it. being called to speak on the show here and ask a question. My question, well, first I want to say congratulations. That's a huge increase, 88%. Wow. And I want to know how you did it, and especially how your intuition comes into play. You talked about your intuition being your greatest asset or whatever, and I want to know, how does intuition play into the results that you had?
Beautiful.
Okay. Well, how did I do it? I assessed the physical space, and I saw that the space felt stagnant. And so I went in and I replaced the doors, the floors, the window coverings, freshly painted the walls, and replaced the dusty fake plants with fresh new live ones. And then I assessed the employees, including myself. And some employees left on their own during COVID, and others worked from home. And I used my intuition and my energetic Feng Shui system to attract and hire an A-plus team. And I used my intuition using a system called human design and some other success systems to assess who to hire to create this A-plus team. And I realized we didn't have an HR department, so this became my primary focus. So when we hired the right people in the right positions with the right compensation, we finally had our A-plus team. And so this change in our space and team allowed our sales to skyrocket 88%.
Beautiful. I love that. And that listening to your intuition, kind of that sometimes people call it your gut, kind of listening to that and trusting that it was leading you the right direction. And I think those are kind of courageous decisions, because sometimes when we're experiencing a contraction, it's hard to invest. So I'm going to parlay off, and Cynthia, if you don't mind holding on, because I want to make sure we circle back to, I'd love to know, did you face any of that, and how did you lean in through it?
How did I face in? Lean into?
Yeah, if you in investing, like choosing to hire that A-plus team when your business was being challenged like that and going through some contraction and facing those challenging times, you chose to lean in and invest and bring that team aboard. And that's not always a choice a business owner makes.
Well, I realized that our decision making in the past in choosing employees was it needed a correction. Let's put it that way. And we took this time to take the opportunity to learn a new way of hiring people. And when I realized that my intuition was my best asset, I started listening to it and realized that this is something I'm very good at. I can read a room. When I walk into a room, I can just read all the people in the room. I've learned that my intuition is my best asset. And so once I started listening to it, and I use a system called human design, which looks at the DNA coding people are born with, and each of us is born with a way we function. And and we're better in certain positions when we are in a career. Some of us are very good at managing people, and others are let's just say, worker bees. I'm better at being the second man or woman in a company versus being the CEO. So when I used my intuition to hire our A-plus team, I saw the results of it. I was shocked to see that our sales and revenues were increasing, and I thought, oh, thank God. I wish I had been doing this all along, but it's never too late.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it, Cynthia. I so appreciate you asking that great question about intuition and just celebrating her amazing success in growing the business. And Cynthia, did she answer your question fully?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah,
Great.
so great. And then I love your follow-up question, too. She answered that really well. Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Cynthia. Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate that. And then with that, Deborah, I just wanted to see you have any final thought or share for our listeners before we go to our next commercial break.
Yes. So I wanted to say I empower my clients to live their best life by creating beautiful business environments that you never want to leave. And these spaces support you to be mindful, present, and focused. I want to say, remember, energy may not be seen, but it can be felt. And where energy flows, money goes. May you be hopeful during this magical holiday season. May your new year be filled with great abundance, prosperity, and success.
Thank you, Deborah. I so appreciate it. Listeners, will have a time at the end of the show where she'll share her contact information for anyone that wants to connect in deeper, on a deeper level and learn more. We'll definitely provide that. But right now, we're going to do our next commercial break. And as we do that, I want to encourage you to really take in what Deborah has shared. See how it's speaking to you. Have that notepad ready and just process, give yourself time to process on a cellular level, really take in and integrate what serves. And we'll look forward to talking to you and continuing the conversation.
Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and really it took some time to think about, wow, where is my energy going? And observing where energy goes, money flows. And are we really looking at having ourselves and others in those places and doing those things they are most gifted to do? And what a difference it can make to line those things up with how we're wired, how we're made, and how the energy flows. And I feel like that's so powerful to look at our businesses that way. And I also believe to look at our lives that way and kind of the choices that we're making, how we're looking at things. And I think a key to really choosing to be mindful and present during the holiday season and finding that magic is taking that time to appreciate the moments that we have, to take in those insights that speak to us, receive them, and let them actually become part of who we are and how we're looking at the world. So I encourage you to keep taking notes as we continue our conversation and really take in those things that touch your heart, that touch your spirit, and you can create that additional insight and perspective for you. It is my privilege and honor to introduce our next guest, Janet Schmidt, and you got to hear from her a little bit on a heart level in the opening segment, and I'm excited to share just a little bit more about her. She is one of our authors in the upcoming Step Into Your Brilliant Purpose series, and that book is coming out in early March, so March 1st, and we're honored to have her as one of our amazing authors in that book. And she is working on her own book and looking to bring amazing content and supportive information along with her story forward. She is working on getting her certificate in art therapy, and she has this passion for writing and really making a positive difference in the world. Her upcoming book, her solo book that she's working on, it was inspired by her son, her eldest son, who struggled with self-esteem and learning disabilities, and she was really able to empower him to show up in the world in a powerful way. She's a mother of 2 adult children, 1 grandbaby, if I got that stat accurate from earlier conversations with her and sharing, and has been married for over 30 years to her husband, Lyle, and again is absolutely passionate about helping others and making a positive difference in the world. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and heart-centered Janet Schmidt to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's my pleasure to be here.
I'm excited to have you here, looking forward to all that is on your heart to share. And I'd like to start with, why is making a difference for others, making a positive difference and helping others, why is that important to you?
Well, as I look at the world as it is now, and you know what? The world's always been kind of a mess, a hot mess anyway, but with all the violence and the stuff going on, there needs to be something out there for people to hang on to that gives them hope and a reason to get up in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's difficult sometimes, but if there's things out there you can do, or if there's people that you can talk to, or if there's a relationship that you value, you can make it, or a faith. Faith is another point too. You can do it. You can get through the bad times as well as the good times in this world.
Mm. Beautiful. And you feel a calling to really help people navigate some of that. I feel like so much of the work that you're bringing forward, from your writing to the certification in art therapy to sharing your story and supporting others, you have this calling and this gifting to make a difference and share what you've learned. And I'd love to have you share just a little bit of your journey with that.
Well, I was a child of two alcoholics. The alcoholism got really bad in my teen years, and I became a very angry and withdrawn person. Probably somebody I wouldn't have liked otherwise. Mm-hmm. And it was very hard to share with people what was going on, because there is in the codependent culture which I lived, you were not allowed to share with others what was going on, and you weren't always allowed to talk about what was going on in your own family. So I remember how difficult it was to get up in the morning. I remember how difficult it was that the majority of the care giving from my brother fell on my shoulders, as well as trying to take care of myself. Mm-hmm. I remember kind of taking care of my parents, too, when they weren't in the best shape. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I want to do is really make a difference for people who are feeling like this is hopeless, or what am I going to do now? I can't talk to anybody, or, I want to have a book that shows there are things you can do for yourself that can help you grow as a person still. Now, you probably need some counseling if you've been in that kind of situation, because there's some lifetime habits that you begin there. And if you don't get some counseling and therapy, you're probably going to carry those out the rest of your life. But there are some things you can do to make yourself feel better and to grow as a person. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I have pulled myself to the point I am now simply by, one, caring about others, doing for others. And two, after going to that extreme, then coming back and learning how to take care of myself better.
And thank you for sharing that, because one of the things I feel like, and I appreciate you sharing your story, some of your story with us so openly and transparently. And I think those are things that we don't always talk about, but are happening. And so I appreciate you willing to stand in that space and share some of what you've experienced and what you've learned. And this learning to care for ourselves, learning to, I would even say, love ourselves, is, I know you believe, so key to us being able to find magic in the holiday season in our life and being able to give to others or have those healthy patterns. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that? How can we start to love ourselves and take care of ourselves more fully?
Well, there are some, I guess I'm going to call them some building blocks, in a sense, to self-love. And on the bottom level, there's things like self-control, self-reliance, and that's for yourself. And then the other side is for more of the social part of your life, learning courtesy and just doing random acts of kindness. There is scientific proof that doing random acts of kindness actually raises up those good endorphins that make you smile and feel good about yourself. Then the second level is self-respect with trust in the middle and respect for others. And then the next level before you get to self-love is independence. Trusting in yourself, goes back to trust, knowing that you can do things, know what your talents and gifts are, and go for it. And then there's also patience. Not only patience for other people, but patience for yourself. Some of us set the bar too high and we expect too much from ourselves, and then when we don't reach it, we sit there and beat ourselves up. So it's very important to have patience for yourself, too. Well, I've only been in this program that I'm working on for a year, and it's a 4-year program. I can't expect to be here when I'm only at this level. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? So all those things together, if you can strengthen those aspects of your life, those building blocks, then self-love comes a little easier. Then you feel like you're getting somewhere. Then you feel like you're part of society. Then you feel like others love you back. So
this is
it all
really
comes together.
Yeah, it does. It's really powerful. And I was even thinking as this ties into some of what Deborah was sharing in the opening too about, what you're great at and discovering what some of those things are and kind of where you fit in things. I could see how powerful that is to know that for yourself in your life and what you're choosing to do to earn a living. Like those are all really important things to know. And I know some of these things you illustrated. You shared with me in one of our early conversations that we had in a book that you were working on where you applied some of these things to really support your son. And he had some learning disabilities and things that he was struggling with. And I'd love for you just to share a little bit about that.
Well, my son had 3 disabilities, and it was in key areas, so he struggled quite a bit. Number one of the things he had to learn is to be an advocate for himself. I supported him in that. If he couldn't get a result at school from that, then I went to the counselor and his person who was running his personal program to help him learn what he needed to learn. And that's one thing. Being an advocate for yourself is important. And I think it's even more important now in today's society where, well, a lot of things has fallen to the individual. And so it's important to advocate for yourself when you need something and figuring out where the resources are and going and getting it if you can. And if you can't, then who can? You know, just don't take no for an answer. Number 2, I think it's interesting in life. My son really struggled with math computation. And so my husband and I worked with him on different pieces of his math and stuff. Lo and behold, he got one of his jobs. He was a manager in a restaurant. And so he was doing some of the cooking too. And so he had to figure out fractions. He had to figure out, how many cases he needed to order to have enough food for the week in order to serve people, stuff like that. And so it's kind of interesting how it all works out in the end. But anyway, the other thing I taught him is you have to have patience for yourself and for others. Yes, I know your counselor said that they would do this for you, but they also have 350 other students they're serving or whatever. And so sometimes when you're a child, you don't see that. You know, you're mostly concerned with yourself, and that's how you grow and develop. And so I helped him to see that. I helped him to also have patience with himself and to make sure that we celebrated the things that he did well so that he didn't feel like he was a failure. That's one of the things that special needs kids, you know, struggle with is their own self-esteem and feeling like a failure because they don't feel like they're the other kids. And the other kids may tease them about, you know, whatever's going on. And
one of the things he was gifted in, I know you celebrated and helped him embrace too, was his musical gifting. Is that correct? Am I remembering that?
That was funny because that's the opposite of math, right? I mean, if you're musically gifted, you should be mathematically pretty well off. But I don't know. He is. He's picked up on several instruments by ear. So yeah, he is. And so we really lifted that up. I made sure he had instructor outside of school too, and he's pretty gifted in his violin playing, and he can play any guitar you want. He can play some piano and some organ that he picked up along the way. So, yeah, and he realizes it now, and then I have a short story to share. He came to me one day with this musical score he'd written. He was in middle school, and he'd written a quartet. And he comes over to me and he goes, "Hey, Mom, can you take a look at this and tell me if you think it's good?" And I'm taking a look at all these scribbles, you know. And I'm looking at him, and I said, "Son, you do realize I can't read music." He goes, "What?" I said, "I can't read what you've got here. You'll have to play it for me." And he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Honey, everybody can't write music."
Yeah.
And so I think that was the breakthrough we had. Do you realize you're doing something that everybody can't do?
Yeah. Something powerful, gifted, and extraordinary. That's beautiful. Well, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break, and as we do that, listeners, I want you to reflect on what Janet has shared with us and really see what is speaking to your heart and spirit, and we'll look forward to continuing the conversation in just 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and you had an opportunity to just feel into your thoughts and ideas and really process all that has been shared with you today. It has been an honor and a privilege, and behind the scenes, we're getting ready to share all our contact information so that you can stay connected with our amazing guests. Part of the reason we make sure to carve out time at the end of the show for this is I want you to be able to lean into the support that's going to help you on your journey, to empower you, because it is not a solo journey. We get to walk beside each other. We get to support each other on the journey. And so with that, Deborah, I would love for you to share, how can people connect with you and go deeper?
Okay. People can connect with me on my website, and I do have a free webinar for you, and it's on my website, which is fengshuibusinessconsultant.com, and that's FENGSHUI businessconsultant.com.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And Janet, what's the best way for people to connect in with you?
You can connect with me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Janet, JANET .Schmidt, SCHMIDT 581-5255 /.
Okay, beautiful. And I wanted to see, we have just a minute here. I would love for each of you, if you have a final thought. So listeners, get ready for a final piece of wisdom or insight to support you on your journey. Deborah, any final tip or reminder for our listeners?
Well, life is all about creating positive, memorable experiences, and believe that life is not a destination, it's a journey. And so as long as we're here on Earth, we're here to learn our lessons and to reach our full potential and to enjoy the spaces that we live in and that we work in.
Beautiful.
So if you would like to remember that energy cannot be seen, but it can be felt, and that where energy flows, money goes.
Beautiful. Thank you. I can hear that in my head and heart over and over. It's great to really be mindful of that. Thank you for sharing. And Janet, did you have any final tip or reminder for our listeners today?
Yes. Some people view kindness as more of an outside or external thing than something they actually possess inside of themselves. So it's kind of similar to the difference of being reactive or proactive to your world. So please remember, those random acts of kindness mean something to other people. And please be kind to yourself and take care of yourself this holiday season.
Beautiful. Thank you. Listeners, thank you for leaning in and joining us today. Remember that you are a gift, so I just want to echo, please take precious, beautiful, loving care of yourself, as so often we do for others. Please remember to do so for yourself. And one of the best and biggest and most meaningful gifts you can give this season is giving more of you. So my encouragement for you and my challenge for you is, as you step back into the world, into the season, choose to be present. Choose to stretch and share just a little bit more of you. Reach out. Be proactive in that so that you can really bring the amazing gift of who you are to those who need you most. So be willing to shine and share the amazing gift of you with the world. Have an amazing holiday season, and we'll look forward to talking with you in the new year.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.